Now then, here are all the parts on its alligator clips, as you could say. Cleaned up, washed. I actually washed them in cold water. Let it dry in. I put a little fan on the parts so that way it dried up quickly. I took a cloth, began wiping it off, whatever the particles are on it. Just basically a run through first before I begin priming. And of course, I wanted to test out my little custom paint stand that I made. Of course, some parts, smaller ones like these, I put it right here, so it's easy for me to manipulate. And of course, it'll be on the side to the point where if I have to move stuff from one end to another, will allow me to do that. Also, some of these other parts, the smaller detail parts, I put it on reversible tape. I put a lot of parts here on the edges because eventually some of them I'm going to have to spray paint under. I'm going to have to cut some of the cardboard so I can gain access to it, like here and whatnot. I have a few more charcoal parts that I haven't finished putting on this yet, so I want to review it and see what I have to do. Plus, this is a way of me counting all the parts to make sure I have everything. I want to lose nothing. I have a tendency of losing parts. Now, before we proceed, I want to break down what I'm going to do so you guys understand the situation. I want to get it nice and gloss black to get that reflectiveness. But since I did a lot of work on sanding down these parts, there is a lot of parts that has scarring on it, and I was thinking of priming it using using the primer paint from Alclad, the gray primer. But I'm gonna use this guy as well. But I'm gonna use 2 layers on this. So the first layer, which will be a light pass, is designed to overall cover up the part as best as I possibly can. That way, hopefully, it'll cover up all the scarring. The second layer, I'm hoping to get a reflective coat using this. And again, I want to make sure that make sure it comes out right and it doesn't clog up. And I'm going to begin prepping my table a bit because I want to get my fans and I want to get everything here so I could pick up whatever particles that's in the air, so it doesn't fall on the parts. Another thing I'm going to do, and this requires this took a little bit of afterthought. I want to make sure I protect my parts as it's drying. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to swing this using the parts that are here because this is going to interrupt, probably going to give me a bit of a problem. But what I'm planning to do, and first things first, I'm going to remove these guys here. I purchased a plastic container, which is kind of hard to show to you right now, but I removed the lid of the plastic container and I'm going to let it fall right on top of this. This is just a rough look to it. Come on, get in there. There we go. And doing this will protect the parts. Now, right now I just realized, and I'm going to take this off right now, these parts right here, this is too long. Because I was trying to figure out what do I need to hold these parts in, the wings, without, it damaging, I can at least paint everything. So I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to cut these so I can get it down here, because the whole purpose is to put it right on top after I paint each and every part, so that way no particles will fall on this, and let it dry for a good 12 hours, maybe 24 hours. So that will be 2 layers of gloss black, and then I want to make sure that each one comes out right, because I'm not expecting great results on the first pass. I'm hoping that if it does show a little bit of particles or whatnot, I can get the sanding paper, sand it down a bit, and then when I do the second layer, it'll come out great. But after the second layer is applied, then I'm going to give it a top coat just to protect that black and that clear coat. I mean, get that reflective coat. And then once that's done, we move on to the next stage of colors, and which of course is the chrome, the blue, and all the other cool stuff. So what do you think of that? Let me take care of these guys, take care of these guys right here, and then we will begin. Okay, so I am ready to begin priming, like I mentioned before, using black primer and microfiller. Now I did something on this paint that many of you guys are saying I don't have to do because it's already pre-thinned. But this thing clogs up for some odd reason. So what I did was I gave it just maybe a couple of drops of Mr. Color Leveling Thinner, which I did do a long time ago on another kit that I made using gloss black. And it does come out nice and smooth, but I want to demonstrate it on this. So again, we're only going to do one layer just to cover up whatever scar marks and just give it an overall cover, you could say. So now I've run the fans here for a good half an hour just to make sure that there's no particles. And this is just a preliminary cover. This is just a standard cover. It's not going to be the gloss yet. I just want to give it a standard coat. As you can see, it's a little darker, but it's just to cover it up a bit. So that's the wing. Here's the waist part. There we go. This red part here, which basically I had to put it on this part, on this because I have no way of holding it, and I didn't want to put it on something where it would be difficult for me to hold. So this will be a little bit okay. It was saturated there, but no big deal. Put it here. I have a stand here for the little parts, which I did paint the little ones off a little bit. Alright, so we have this. There we go. And the last one will be the shoulder as a demonstration for now. Oh, just finished it, but pretty good. So I'm going to refill the reservoir with more paint, more primer, give me a moment to finish up, and then I'll apply the second coat in a second. Okay, so I allowed it to dry, and I see no particles on it, nothing to show. I've put a little bit more thinner into this airbrush. Make sure that the air has circulated, there's no particles in the air. So my hope is to get a reflective coat on this guy. Let me just zoom in a tad. And let's spray and pray. Alright. There is a little reflectiveness there, but I want to put a little bit more just in case. I think that's good. There we go. Much better. Okay, that's good. We'll put that here. Let's do this guy. Just a blast of air, just whatever particles there. Go. Very nice. Alright. Put that here. Shoulder part. Oh. As I was spraying this, there is some scarring there. So hopefully with this applied onto it, it'll cover the scarring completely. So, again, let's try this again. Yeah, that looks good. We gotta get the underside as well. Yeah, that came out good. The angle on the top you can barely see, but I don't know if maybe you did see it at that moment. Let me just put it here. Now here's that blue. I'm covering up the lighter blue tones, but the darker blue tones will be, of course, chromed up, so I can apply the indigo blue. So let's do this. Make sure I grab every nook and cranny even in areas where I don't think I'm going to be painting, because I want to make sure I grab everything right and it's nice and reflective. Alright. I'm sorry. I guess I didn't. My camera wasn't facing this. I apologize. But, yep, there you go. We'll do one more. Because now, you know, this is going to be a long time for me to do all this. To do on every part. We'll use the shield as an example. Oh, I ran out. Good. Look at that. Nice. Very nice reflectance. Alright. Let me fill up the reservoir. Let me continue on with the remaining parts. And then we'll go on to the next stage.